So welcome to tonight's Billionaire Book Club. I tell you, it is going to be a wild ride this evening because we're going to be talking about none other than the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class. And if you want to talk about some mind-blowing information, you want to step it up to the next level, then Keith Cameron Smith gave you just the things you need. And of course, we meet here every month to be able to discuss the books that help us in our personal and business development for entrepreneurs who have that success in mind. And so I'm so excited to be able to share this book. It says, if you're ready to take the journey to wealth and personal fulfillment, here's your ticket. Because in this life-changing little book, entrepreneur and inspirational speaker Keith Cameron Smith shows you how to think like a millionaire and reap the benefits of a millionaire mindset. So the key to moving beyond the middle class and up the economic ladder is mastering these 10 vital principles. And of course, here we have a billionaire book club. So we have some extremely high aspirations, but guess what? You got to be a millionaire before you can be a billionaire. You got to be a thousandaire before you can be a millionaire. So we want to make sure we have the necessary tools to be able to move up that ladder. And this book, I'm telling you, it gives you life. It gives you life. So right there in the preference in the beginning, Keith Cameron, he just talked a little bit about why he even wrote this book, why it was important. And he said each of us has a responsibility to share those things that produce good results in our own lives. And would you not agree with that? Each one of us has something to be able to share that can add value to somebody else. And he chose to put this in a book form because he was very much impacted by the books that he read. And he found that other millionaires also, when they were reading books, they would find different perspectives to, gain from that information. And they were able to apply those things in their lives. And we're finding, even as we're doing this book club, there's some jewel, there's one bit of information that if you just apply that gave you that aha moment. And it's if I just apply this one thing, I can change my business. I can change my relationships. I can change my life. And so he has, that in this book. So he says with a sense of responsibility, purpose, and legacy. We all want to leave behind something after we good and gone. I offer my understanding of these distinctions. So we're going to talk about the top 10 distinctions. So of course, this is part one of our discussion. And we'll have part two on December the 27th. So you want to go ahead and mark your calendars right now. That'll be 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Zoom. And we're going to be discussing part two of the book, Top 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and the Middle Class. So tonight we're going to try to get through distinctions 10 through 6, because actually it goes from 10 down to 1 in the way that the book actually breaks out the information. So he said most people focus on what they want and never set goals of what they don't want, and they never set goals for what they want. Matter of fact, Napoleon Hill said that himself. He said, if you would just take your energy and focus on what you wanted and not on what you didn't want, you would actually be able to get there. So having these distinctions and knowing that is the number one distinction to first be able to focus on the thing that you want. So I want everybody, as you think about what your goals are in life, because it's easy to say, well, I don't want bills and I don't want to be in debt and I don't want, to have bad relationships. I don't want people hating on me. It's easy to say those things, but decide what you want. And then you can start moving towards that. And it says, always remember that success is a journey as well as a destination, and the road is always under construction. Who will share with us what was distinction number 10? The very first distinction we're going to discuss tonight. What's distinction number 10?
Millionaires think long term, the middle class thinks short term.
Millionaires think long term. So it said that there's 5 groups of people. So those 5 groups of people are the very poor, the poor, middle class, the rich, and the very rich. Now, when you hear that, you're like, okay, very poor, poor, middle class, the rich, the very rich. Well, of course I want to be really rich, if I got to choose between these 5 different groups. But what it brings out on page 3 is each group of people thinks differently about money. So if you're in one of these groups, you have a certain mindset around money. And knowing that means you can make some shifts to move from group to group, right? So it says the very rich people, they think from decade to decade. What do the poor and the very poor think about?
Day to day and week to week.
Precisely. Okay, so what am I gonna eat tomorrow? Oh, no, do I have enough gas money for that car? Okay, whoa, how am I gonna get to work? Oh man, do I have a job? Where millionaires and very rich people are thinking about, okay, next year, what are the things I'm going to be able to accomplish? In the next 5 years, how am I going to be able to do X, Y, and Z? They're thinking decade to decade. That's a huge distinction. Huge distinction. It says the rich and the very rich know the truth. Do y'all want to know what the truth is? Okay, page 4. It says the very rich and the rich, they know the truth, and there is enough money for everyone to have more than enough. There's plenty of money. So the goal for someone, for a millionaire or for somebody who's rich, is for freedom. They want freedom so that they can do what they want, how they want, when they want. And aren't those the things that we want as well? That freedom? So it says what you believe, and this is something you want to put a asterisk by. You want to take a snapshot of it, put it on your phone. What you believe about money has everything to do with how much money you will make.
Wow.
That's a drop the mic moment right there.
Right.
What you believe about money. So if you believe, because see, a lot of times we've been programmed as children to believe certain things. Parents used to say, well, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is hard to come by. And so you grow up with those beliefs. And then so for you just perpetuate that same cycle as you continue to grow and you continue to move along in your life. But if you believe that, you are worth it. You believe that, I have amazing ideas that will add enough value to people that I will make an abundance of money. That belief will shift those things in your life so that money can flow to you, because money is nothing but energy. Yeah. Are you blocking that flow of energy? Because that means you just blocking that money. It ain't going to be raining dollar bills on you or raining hundreds on you if your belief system isn't aligned with that. So that was a huge, a distinction, a huge, aha moment that came out of this. And it says the old saying, it's still on page 4, it says, seek and you will find.
That's what I love. Absolutely love that. That next sentence. You really do get what you look for in life. If you seek to survive, you will. If you seek to be comfortable, you'll be comfortable. If you seek freedom, find it. That did it for me in this chapter. I was like, all right, I'm good. That's the only thing that I need highlighted.
Yes, you have been told over and over and over again what you seek, which means where you're putting your focus, where energy or focus goes, it says energy flows. So whatever you're seeking, and that is not just the stuff that you say out loud to other people, but it's stuff that's really going on in the back of your mind, what you really feel in your heart. That's what it's referring to, because that's what's actually going to draw those things to you. So it says thinking year to year, as rich people do, is where people start learning about what? Fiscal responsibility, financial literacy, and investing.
Yep.
You are thinking differently if you're thinking check to check, or you're thinking about how can I save money on my taxes and not have to pay some of this.
Right. How many kids can I claim?
Exactly. How many kids can I claim? How many of these meals can I write off? How many of these things can I, these laws that are put in place that I can take advantage of because I am thinking beyond the moment that I'm in right now? That's huge. And so it says starts to stretch your thinking further into the future. Like 10 years from now, what do you look to be doing? What would you want to have accomplished 10 years from now? Like, have you already started thinking about that? Matter of fact, in The Strangest Secret, this is by Earl Nightingale. He talks about if you go around to all of your neighbors and you ask them, what are your plans for creating financial freedom? And what do you plan to be earning by the time that you're 65? Most people will be like, huh? Like, I don't know what I'm going to be earning next year.
Or you get the older population that's like, girl, I'm still going to be working this job. That's what I'm going to do.
Exactly. So you see that long-term thinking, it also takes patience. And we're in this like instant gratification society where it's like, oh, I can just, pop it in the microwave and it's done.
Girl, that's me all day. I like it right now. Give it to me. I can click play, I can click start, and it's there. Stream it.
This thing is buffering. It's not even going fast enough for me. Like, we're so
What is this? What is this?
Getting it fast. But the thing about it is, the faster you get it, the faster you could lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When it comes to these things, when it comes to your financial freedom, when it comes to the real foundation for your life. So it's so important for you to be able to think about what I can do tomorrow, and I'm not just worried about today. And it says billionaires will do today what others don't, so they can have tomorrow what others won't. How bad do you want it? I mean,
I get it tomorrow.
Right?
Always.
Yeah, right. It make you stop and think a little bit. Like,
Patience.
Like, I want to be in control of my life. And you know how I can be in control of my life is by waiting it out, about really planning things out so that in the future, because it's going to take me becoming a different person to reach that next level of success. So you having that long-term thinking is what's going to allow you to be able to step into the things you really want. And I think we talked about this last time, but how people who become, millionaires overnight, like say they won the lottery,
right?
They aren't able to maintain that because they are not prepared mentally. They don't even believe that they are millionaires. So they believe whatever level of income they were at. And so they're going to come right back down to it.
You call that the financial thermometer.
Yes, the financial thermometer. I love it. And here on page 9, it says, thinking long-term, you can actually apply this to every area of your life. And so what are some of the areas that we can actually apply this long-term thinking to that will benefit us in all of the areas of life?
Well, we're in the relationship building business, so any type of relationship this can apply to. It's funny, that we talk about seek and find. I just ran into like 3 people I haven't seen in years in Walmart. Got numbers on everybody. So when we think long term, you think about building these relationships with people, because I may not be able to do anything with them today. In a few weeks, I may be able to do something after I've established that relationship. So having that patience and growing and applying this same principle makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. That paragraph that's right there on page 9, he said, if you think short-term in your relationships, you will be looking for what others can do for you and end up using people as a means to an end. And if you're someone who always uses people for your own gain, then chances are you will be a lonely person, especially in your later years. And that is a really sad thought to think about. But sometimes you can get so caught up in the rat race of like, okay, well, I just need to get a new business partner, or, you know, I need this person to help me to be able to close this deal, or like I need their influence to be able to do, you know, accomplish X, Y, and Z. But if you're only looking at it from a what can you do for me, as opposed to how can we create a long-term relationship in a win-win situation, then that will eventually catch up with you, that later on in your life, you will be right there by yourself all alone. So even in the aspect of relationships, this long-term thinking that makes people successful financially will make you rich in your relationships. And that's huge. That's huge. Mm-hmm. And what about in your emotions? How can this help you emotionally? Oh, I think you're talking, Angel, but I think you're on mute. Oh, I thought you okay. How can this help you with your emotions? Because do you want to really be flipped around by the turn of the wind? That every time something doesn't go your way, then you just like, oh, you know, you just can't take it and the world is just falling apart. But if you think long term, even emotionally, then you can build the resistance up to, okay, I know that if my dream and my goal is big enough and I stretch far enough, I'm going to fail. At some point on this journey, I'm going to get a no, or the deal's not going to go through. I'm not going to get the business partner. You know, I'm not going to get the thing that I want. But if I, over the long term, I keep on doing it, I keep on showing up, I keep on doing the behaviors on a consistent basis, guess what? I will win in the end. And then you can emotionally be okay even when things don't go your way in the moment. That's going to make you happy over the long term.
So Havilah, I have a question.
Yes.
How do you, I know it's not our responsibility for that individual, but is there any way to help someone to get out of that negative thinking? Like every time you talk to them, it's, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh my God, things never go right. Oh my God, something always going wrong. Oh my God, why can't everything just go to well? Is there any way to help someone that's in the business, like just and you try to be positive, like it's gonna get better. Just change your focus. This is what you need to do. Just, you know, it could be worse. This could be going on, or that could be going on, but they're still stuck on, and I try to detach emotionally.
That's a great question. And that is something that each and every person faces. So first of all, the best thing to be able to help somebody else who is in a negative situation is for you to remain positive and for you to create results in your own life, because your example will speak louder than your words ever will. And once they see you, you know, continuing to move forward and like, hold up, I'm doing this and this is the result that's getting me, but you doing that and that's the result that's getting you, maybe it's time for me to make a little shift. And everybody is in a different place in their life. They're in a different part of their process. We are all a work in progress. We all have a next level to get to, no matter, you know, whether you used to be negative and now you're more positive. But guess what? There's another level of positivity you can get to. So we all are in that same boat. But if you find that, hey, you constantly being around that person or in their, you know, space and energy, and that's starting to bring you down, then you have to start to kind of make some distance in that relationship. And you can always shoot somebody, you know, an encouraging message or check up on them, you know, every now and then, or send them like, oh, hey, you know, you might want to check this out or whatever. Or this really encouraged me. So it's not even about you trying to preach to them or trying to change them. Right. This is what was beneficial to me. And I just wanted to pass this on and share it with you. And then if they want to go into a long pity party and continue on that same path, then all right, you know what? You have a wonderful day. I know that things will improve, and you keep it moving. It's a must. It's a must, because you don't want to get swept into the cycle with them. But that great question. So first and foremost, make the success your own first. Your example will speak so much louder than your words. Awesome.
And Ms. Havilah.
Yeah.
This is Beverly. what I wanted to add is we can't want it for them more than they want it for themselves.
Yes.
You know, the business. And if they really want it, that would make the difference.
Yes. Absolutely. Everybody's level of commitment, everybody's level of like what they actually want in life is different. So first being clear about what are your goals? What is it that you actually want? Because then I can try to help you get there. But if you're not willing to take the steps to do it, and that does mean becoming uncomfortable, changing the way that you think, feeding your mind on a consistent basis. If you're not willing to take the action, then guess what? I can't do it for you. I can bring you to the water, but I can't make you drink. It is what it is.
So that's why I look for thirsty horses.
Yes! Honey, drink.
I want a t-shirt that say that.
I love that. I love that.
Looking for thirsty horses.
Yes. And, you know, and we also want to, you know, as it brought on page 10, think about long-term and our physical health. Because without your health, you're not going to be able to go as far and do as much as you want to or may be capable of doing. So that bag of chips, you know, at the travel party may look real good, but long term, what is that going to do for me? Is that going to fill my body up with the nutrients that it needs? Is it going to, you know, help me to have a clear mind so I can think about these amazing ideas? You know, you really want to think about what you're putting in your body, how physically active you are, because it says every area of life is connected, and thinking long term in each area will improve every area. That's powerful. That is powerful. So
yeah, I didn't think about it like that. I really did enjoy that point when you consider that everything is connected. All of this fits together, and it's a puzzle piece. You put all the puzzles in the right, the picture comes in view.
Yes.
So that was I also highlighted in the book.
That was such an amazing point. And here on page 11 is something I even put an asterisk by. It says people who spend their lives thinking about things that excite and inspire them live with incredible peace of mind. Don't we all want peace of mind? So spend your time on what brings you passion or what brings you energy, because then that will help you to get to those things. It said, spend your mental energy on the subjects you enjoy. Dedicate your life to fields of interest that inspire you. Find a way to make money in the areas that you enjoy thinking about. And I know a lot of you like thinking about travel. I know a lot of you like thinking about flip-flopping across the country.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. In whatever area that is, whether that's writing books or, you know, baking cakes, whatever area of your life that is, you want to spend your energy and your focus what brings you enjoyment, because that's going to help, because that's one of the secrets of the millionaires. So, of course, we want to follow that path. Of course. And it says all millionaires, this is brought on page 13, it says all millionaires have had to persevere through challenges in their lives. So we don't want to think that, okay, the path is going to just be easy. The path is going to just be walking down the yellow brick road. No, they had to have perseverance through those challenges, but they have the mindset of whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. It says millionaires go the second mile, the third mile, the fourth mile. They make that call, and then they'll call again, and they'll call again, and they'll call again. Napoleon Hill called going the extra.
Whatever it takes really, you know what I'm saying, resonated with me, because me and Angel and my hubby, we were talking about that and going to the New Year's Eve event in Atlanta. And they're like, okay, we got to run a car. We got to do this. I said, look, if we got to sleep in this van, if we got to get a truck and sleep in the truck, we going to make it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you've made a decision and you've set your mind and your heart on accomplishing something and being somewhere, then you get there no matter what. If that means, you know what, I need to carpool with 10 people up in this SUV. If I need to split a room between the 9 of us, then you do whatever it takes because you know long term the benefits that will come out of doing that. So good on you. Good on you. So that really brings us right into distinction number 9 on page 14. And what is distinction number 9?
Millionaires talk about ideas. The middle class talks about things and other people.
What? This section right here, I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Right there on page 14 says, your words reveal your heart and mind, and they give an accurate picture of your future. Those things that you're saying, those conversations that you're having, they're revealing some things about you. Yes. And so it says millionaires spend most of their time talking about ideas and very little time talking about things or other people. That really makes us take inventory of ourselves. Like on a 24-hour period, if I'm talking to, a business partner, I'm talking to a friend, what am I talking about? I'm talking to a family member. What are those conversations consisting of? Am I talking about, how I can build or, ideas of how I connect with people or how I can network or how I can, bring my goals and fruition, like bring those to fruition? Or am I talking about, girl, let me tell you what she did. Oh, this little child right here gets on my nerves. Oh, did you see what was on TV last night? What are your conversations consisting of? I know this is calling some of y'all to the mat. I know it's calling some of y'all to the mat. Call me to the mat.
It's crazy when you reading a book, but the book is reading you. Like, let me put you in check real quick.
I had a conversation the other day, and as the person's name was coming out of my mouth and the discussion became about a person, and then I was like, ooh, this is middle class thinking. Ooh, I was like, this is a middle class conversation. I was like, this is a poor conversation. And so I had to check myself. I was like, hold up. This is not about progress. This isn't about getting me where I got to get. And not that millionaires, like, don't get me wrong, not that millionaires or the very rich or the rich don't talk about people or don't talk about things, but the percentage of time they spend on that is way less than people who are poor and very poor. So we just want to take inventory of ourselves in those things. So ideas are the key. Ideas. Do you have your notebook? You're writing down your ideas. You're writing down things. Matter of fact, for those of you who know me and those of you getting to know me, I am a notebook junkie. Like, I am a notebook freak fanatic. Like, put me in the club. Check, check, check. Like, I love a beautiful notebook because I have boxes of, like notes and things that I have written. Matter of fact, I just recently custom ordered a notebook that has like my books on them and like my own like photo on it. Because I was like, you know what? I could custom order my own little notebook.
Now, have you seen, Angel, you got to unmute because I can't think of the name of it. What's it's a notebook that they're advertising that I want to get, and it's cute too, Havilah. What's it called, Angel?
It's, the achievement something.
The
great achievers book or something like that.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll look real quick. It's on here somewhere.
Yes,
absolutely. Pass on those good, that good advice, those good little tips and tricks, because we could all use that, because you want to make sure that you do have something that you're writing down your ideas in, because you could be hit with some genius, some gold mine type information, but if you don't capture that, you don't write it down, then you might, like 10 minutes from now, be like, oh, what was that thing I thought about? Like, oh, Lord. Or some people use voice notes on their phone, great, but you also want to be able to write those things down. So make sure you do have the tools available to be able to do that. Because if millionaires thinking about ideas, that means you need to be thinking about ideas. What was that, Angel?
You on mute, Angel.
Okay, I was on 2 different screens. The one who made it, she's a millionaire in network marketing. I'm trying to get the name of the book for you.
Okay, no problem. As soon as you get it, then please share that with us, because we would love to have that information. And they said that there are, on page 15, it says there are 3 types of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who said, what happened? So what kind of individual are you? You don't want to be the one like, wait, what? Like, oh, I thought about that when I was in the 3rd grade, but you never brought it to fruition. You never actually, did anything with that spark of genius that comes to you, because there's energy and there are ideas that are flowing through all of us all the time. What are you going to do about it is really the question. So it says when millionaires, is on page 16, it says when working on projects, they go into option thinking mode and they look for several possibilities. It's all about possibilities. When you feel constrained, this is what the poor and very poor does, as is brought out in the book. They think that there are no options. Like, my back is against the wall. I can't do anything. I can't make this happen. I can't, get through. But that is poor thinking. You have to be able to, and the more that you spend time thinking and expanding your mind, more options will start coming to you, more possibilities start coming to you. Like, oh, I can go to a meetup group and meet people. Oh, you know what? My church has a singles night or whatever, and those people like traveling, so I'm gonna go out there for the singles night. You always have to be able to think about, those things. All right, and thank you, Angel. You said so. It's called the High Achievers Playbook. Is the book that Angel was sharing and was talking about with us. So you can all take note of that and check it out if you would like to. So thank you very much for that information. So now this is something that I loved. This is on page 17. It says the middle class spends its money on things that were created by a millionaire's idea.
Woo. Like
So
some
you're
cell
the one. So you're the one. Speak. Yes.
The whiteboards that we got.
Yes. It said the middle class and the very poor often Hollywood's biggest fans. Well, you know what Olivia Pope doing before Olivia Pope is doing it. You know how to get away with murder. You know what's in Grey's Anatomy. But what kind of ideas are you coming up with? What are you doing to be able to fuel your life and your business? So we want to make sure that we're thinking like the millionaires think. And what are the millionaires thinking about?
Ideas.
Ideas.
A decade in advance.
It says that people, this is on page 18, people who are easily impressed with others are often insecure and confused about what they want in life. So this brings it to like a whole new level. Yeah, go ahead. It really brings it to a whole new level when you said that people who are easily impressed with others. And it's a lot of times because you haven't recognized within yourself your own greatness. So you look at somebody else and you feel like, wow, they're accomplished. They have all this going on for them. They speak eloquently, or, they do this really well, or they're super smart. But guess what? So are you. All of those things reside within you. So there's no need to put somebody on some pedestal like they're, some super God, when guess what? So are you. It's okay to appreciate and to be like, wow, I really love that you are great, in doing presentations, or I love how well you write, or man, you so good at doing those 3-way calls. But guess what? You have greatness in you too. And when we start to recognize that, when we just start to talk to ourselves better, when we start to compliment ourselves on the things that we're good at, then you get to start seeing that, you know what? I can be, do, and have anything that I set my mind to. That's where the shift happens. That's where the power is. Have you all seen that or experienced that in any way?
Because Havilah, this is Chriselle. Everybody have their own. Hey, everybody have their own gifts. And one person, their gift might be here, like you said, they can speak, well and everything. And another person, their great gift might be caregiving or something like that. But everybody have their own gift. We all are made special. God gave us all talents, many talents, different talents. So sometimes, like you said, people don't realize their value within themselves.
Yes. Exactly. And that's why when you spend more of your time thinking about ideas and not thinking about things, not thinking about other people, it allows you to tap into that creativity that is within you. It allows you to get in flow with those thoughts that are coming through you, and then you get to manifest all that is within you. So we want to keep our mind, instead of like tearing down people and trying to make them bad so that we feel good, spend our time on our ideas. And that will definitely help to accomplish the things that you want in life. And again, it's a distinction between the millionaires and the middle class. So we already know it's a must. It's a must. So, and I love here on page 21, it brings out everything you see first started with an idea in someone's mind. This book that we're holding, that Keith Cameron Smith wrote, was first an idea in his mind. The pen that you are holding in your hand right now, that you're writing your notes with, was an idea in somebody's mind. And now it's actually a physical manifested item or thing. So we know that the power, the asset that we have is our ideas. And you also want to protect your ideas. Now, we want to give some caveats here, because on page 27, it says, do not discuss your ideas with people who are unsuccessful. Why do you not want to discuss your ideas with people who are unsuccessful?
Because they're going to take it
and shoot it down. No, they're going to shoot it down.
They're going to discourage you. Oh, they're going to discourage you.
And then take it for themselves.
Some of the sneaky ones might discourage you, and then all of a sudden they become successful. You don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Like, oh, that ain't gonna work. What made you come up with that idea? That's crazy. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Hold on now. What he say?
You encourage me.
He said do this, and he said do that. Okay, I'm gonna stick this in my back pocket real quick. No, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
Because you don't want to discuss your ideas with people with a limited mentality, because they weren't given the vision and they're not manifesting their own power by coming up with their own ideas and executing on them. So how can they support you in going to do something that maybe hasn't been done before, or that maybe nobody in your family has done before, or you're going to go to the next step that has never been accomplished before? They can't support you in that and be positive with you in that when they're unsuccessful themselves, or will never take a risk. Because if I feel like risk is gonna hold me back or gonna make me fail, I'm not gonna tell you to go take no risk. Like, girl, don't do that. You might fail. Like, you're not gonna succeed. No, you have to think with a can-do mentality, and then you discuss your ideas with people who are successful, or people who do support you, or you work your idea out and you go execute, and then you just show it with the results. It's one of the best. Taking time out, and this is brought on page 22, taking time out to dream every day on a regular basis. Take time out for yourself to think about the things that you want. Like, I have a notebook that is specifically, where is that? I think it's in another room. A notebook that's specifically for just like my daydreaming, like just for like the things that I want to accomplish. And I'll actually write it out, like what the picture looks like. What do I feel? What do I see? What do I smell? I make the picture so real that I can literally step into that picture. Because the clearer you can make the picture in your mind, the easier and faster it will manifest. So you want to take that time out every day and On page 22, what does it say? What was number one? What does it say you want to do? Number one.
Change your vocabulary. Change it. It's not possible. It's not impossible. It's I will, I can, I am.
Yes. Your words are powerful. Your words have power. So when you say, there's a saying, it said, if you think you can or you think you can't, both are usually right. So you want to use your words in the direction you want to go, which is in the positive. Believe, as millionaires do, believe that they can turn their ideas into reality. And guess what they do? So can we. Number two, what do we want to stop doing? What do you want to stop doing?
Stop complaining and start learning.
Like it even talks about here, and it really is in line with the law of attraction. Whatever you complain about, you're going to get more of. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, don't bring me another bill. Lord, oh, open that mailbox. Oh, another bill. No, so I talk about where's my check? Yes, show me my checks. Where's my check? Where's my check? All right, there's my check.
There's the check.
Exactly. Yes, it said people who complain are literally cursing themselves. You're cursing yourself. Ugh. But the one thing that you want to use is a powerful tool, and that's gratitude. It says it's one of the greatest powers in the universe. So always ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me? Because I tell you, as Tony Robbins says, life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you. So when you can find those things to be grateful for, whether it's I woke up today. You know how many people did not wake up today? Like literally, how many people they had to bring to an emergency room, how they had to bring to a morgue, who they're going to now have to plan funeral arrangements for, but you're still here. You're still breathing. You still have an opportunity to fulfill your dreams. That's something to be grateful for. So we want to learn from those adversities, learn from those defeats, find the seed of equivalent benefit, find the good and be grateful for it. And we want to talk about ideas. And that's what we're doing tonight, talking about ideas, because that's what we'll bring to fruition. So distinction number 8. Who will share with us what distinction 8 is?
Millionaires embrace change. The middle class is threatened by change.
It says millionaires assume that all change, positive or negative, will benefit them. Now that's a shift in mindset. Anything that happens, I don't care if the economy goes up, I don't care if the economy crashes. Guess what? That's going to benefit me. I'm going to find a way to benefit from it. Oh, I got fired from that job? Oh, okay, well, I'm no longer with that company. Guess what? I'm going to find a way for that to benefit me. You can find benefit in everything. It says, for the truly confident, so page 27, for the truly confident among us, change is opportunity. So how well do we handle unexpected change? You want to ask yourself, you want to take inventory on that. How well are you handling unexpected change? It talks about, and this is also right there at the bottom of page 27, it says confidence is acquired through preparation and hard work. That's the result of working on yourself. And that's proving yourself to yourself, not to anybody else. You are the only person who you need to answer to. You are the only person who can stand in judgment of you. You. So when you continue to work on yourself as you're doing tonight and as you're doing, on a daily basis, feeding your mind, you are improving that mental fortitude. You're improving that mindset so that when those winds of change happen, because they're going to happen, it's going to happen to everybody, that you are prepared to be able to find the benefit and find what's going to work for you out of that situation. And that's huge. Now, on choice, this is on page 28, it says millionaires choose to be rich. Now that might be hard to like digest, because that also means the opposite is true. That means poor people, very poor people, and even the middle class chooses to be in that situation. Now, most people are like, no, it's the circumstances, it's the things that are happening, it's the hand that life dealt me that is the reason why I am in this situation. But it says you choose, because a choice is backed by a belief that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's backed by you believe that you can be a millionaire. I'll tell you, when I first decided, because even in Napoleon Hill's work, the first thing is definiteness of purpose. You got to know what you want. So it says you got to pick your number. Like, what is your financial goal? What is your number? And I used to write down on a piece of paper, and this was years ago, and it was even scary for me to write this down. Like, this number was scary. I used to write down $12,000 a month in residual income. And even writing that down like freaked me out, because I didn't believe it. And I was just kind of like, oh, that just seems like a lot of money. Write it down. But the fact of you continuing to write it down, you continue to say it to yourself, you say it out loud, that one day you start to shift. Your mindset starts to shift. As you're feeding yourself, you start to shift, because today, my number, and I can show you in my notebook, my number that I have down is $288,000 a month in residual income. And I have no qualms about it. I feel completely congruent with it. And I know that I will have that number without a doubt in my mind. But there was a time where I didn't even believe that I could have $12,000 a month in residual income. That was like, oh, Lord, okay, help me, Jesus, help me. So we have to continue to recondition our minds, and it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. So even though you may not believe it right now, if you continue to do the work on yourself, one day you will. And once you can conceive it and believe it, then you can achieve it, as Napoleon Hill shares with us. So you guys have any comments on that? Because I know that's a big one for people, is that belief system and that choice that they make.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It says change, it's on page 20, it says change shows what you're made of, and it reveals what's inside of you. Change always gives you the opportunity to grow and to become stronger. So it says, there was a quote, and it says, in times of change, the learner will inherit the earth, while the learned will find themselves well equipped to deal with the world that no longer exists. So either you are maneuvering with those changes, or you're going to get left behind.
Yep.
So what you going to do? That's the question. That is the question. So awesome. So we know we want to change with the times. We want to think like a millionaire does. And that was distinction number 8. And that brings us to distinction number 7. And what might that be?
Millionaires take calculated risk. The middle class is afraid to take risks.
Yes. Millionaires take calculated risk. It says the only way out of the rat race is to take risk. Because if you take risk out of life, it's on page 33. If you take risk out of life, you take opportunity out of life.
I love that that's in there a total of 3 times in one paragraph. I mean, it makes it very clear that there is no such thing as a non-risky scenario in life. There's always some type of risk as long as you live. There's risk involved. So if you're expecting not to risk something, then you need to be put in a little hole and just somebody gonna bring you some meals and just stay there for the rest of your life, because that's the only way you'll ever live without risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It said 3 times. He said it's not a mistake that you just read that again. The only way out the rat race is to take risk. The only way.
Yeah.
But what do millionaires do?
They calculate their risk.
Mm.
I love the formula for the because I never considered the actual formula for how you calculate a risk. I just said, you know what, if it's worth my while, I'm gonna do it. But the calculation, what we think about, what his mentor taught him, that was amazing. I mean, the 3 simple questions.
Yes.
Simple questions too. What's the best thing that could happen? What's the worst thing that could happen? What's most likely to happen? And then figure out if you're willing to live with those outcomes. And then do it if you are. Simple.
Yes. It says fearness is darkness and knowledge is light. When you are able to get the knowledge, measure, like, okay, consider, hey, what are the consequences? Like you said to Neil, by asking those 3 questions, find out the answer to those 3 questions. And if you cool with, okay, I can deal with that, then go for it. What are you waiting for?
Right.
And on page 36, what are you talking about? Those 3 primary fears that the middle class has that stops them from taking that action. What are those fears that come up?
The fear of failure.
Fear of rejection.
And the fear of loss.
Oh, Lord.
The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and the fear of loss. Those are the 3 great fears that hold people back from actually taking the necessary risk that it takes to become a millionaire or to be successful, period. So it says, if it's not a matter of if you will fail, it's a matter of when you will fail if you ever go after anything in life. Not if, it's when. So, because failure is a part of that path to success. So everybody who's on the line tonight, everybody who's listening, to the recording, you want success, obviously, because that's the reason why you're here. You're success-minded. So let's just wrap our mind around, let's go ahead and just accept that failure is going to happen. Cool. Check that box. I'm gonna fail. Cool. All right. Now, the problem is that the middle class thinks that failure is bad, where millionaires think that failure is good because it gives them the opportunity to do what?
You grow.
Yes.
You learn and you grow.
Yes. Yeah. You learn and you grow through failure. It's the best teacher life has to offer is through failure. You want the quickest path to success is through failure. But so many people are so scared of failure that they refuse to even walk through the door, and then they miss out on all the blessing.
Yeah.
I just told a friend the other day, that the only way to fail at an opportunity is not to take the opportunity.
Yes. Yes, indeed. You know how many times I failed in life? I mean, like, really? People will look at my bio and look at like all the things that I've accomplished. I was like, so for each of those items that I've accomplished, I probably failed 10 other things just to the one that I did accomplish.
I'm going to put that number in the chat box.
It's like a 10-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
But it's about that.
On the 10th try, it's gold.
Exactly. And then it's worth it.
I just got to get the 10. I got to get the 10. I know 10 gold. Give it up.
I'm going to get the golden ticket at 10. At 10, I got the golden ticket.
Here it comes.
Yeah, it says the middle class gives up after failing while millionaires keep going. You must keep going after you fail in order to achieve success. It's a must.
And they all say the same thing. Well, you know what? Must not have been meant for me to have. Just wasn't meant for me to do. Oh, well, okay, I'll just move on.
Well, I'll take yours. That's what I'm going to say, Christine. I'm going to take yours.
Right.
This time to have it. It's meant for me then. So I'm going to go ahead and take your share and my share. And I'll check you later.
Oh, and look at what Angel just shared. She said negativity is the anchor to failure.
I missed it.
If you, I'm about to share it. She said negativity is the anchor to failure. If you're negative, your failure will keep you going down. Remain positive, and your failure will be your stepping stone to success.
Yes. That's why she's my accountability partner.
All right, Angel.
That's wisdom right there, Angel. That's wisdom.
I copy and paste that somewhere.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. Now, let me go on the one that, this one came knocking at my front door. That fear of rejection. I was like, you know what? After I read this section on the fear of rejection, I said, you know, this is my last great frontier, and done. It's over. It says, here's a key to success. You must want to succeed more than you want the acceptance of other people. And I don't care if that's your parents, your peers, men, women, your children, your friends. You have to want to succeed more than you want the acceptance of others. It says in order to be successful, you will have to take risk. And if you fail, some people may reject you. The funny thing is, if you succeed, some people will still reject you.
Nah.
And I think it was, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Holton Buggs that talked about when you have asthma, how hard it is to breathe. And when it comes to success, you have to want it as much as you need to breathe.
Oh, it's Eric Thomas. Oh, yes. E.T. Oh, yes.
He talked about that.
Yes. He said you got to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. He said that man held him underwater. He about to pass out and die. He said, you wanted that breath, didn't you? He was like, you wanted to breathe, right? He said, well, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll succeed. And isn't that the truth? You got to want.
I'll never forget that story.
It's a powerful story. It's a powerful example. And it says, and millionaires understand that they cannot please everybody. So they don't even try.
Don't try.
It says you must not let your need, it's on page 38, you must not let your need for acceptance keep you from taking risks. So simply understanding that some people are going to reject you no matter what you do, then do what you need to do to succeed. Go do it. Some people going to love you, some people going to hate you, some people won't even care. So at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you are fulfilling your purpose. You are moving forward and doing the things that you need to do to accomplish your goal, because everybody has their music that they need to play. Everybody has their note that they're supposed to add to this symphony called life. And if you're not playing your note, then guess what? The world is losing out. And you are losing out on the enjoyment of actually creating and fulfilling and crafting your note. And the world is missing out on the beauty that comes from the note that you share and the inspiration they feel from the note that you share. So who cares what other people think? You got to do you.
Wow. Well, Havilah.
I'm telling you, this one touched me. This one touched home for me. It touched home for me.
And all the way over here, child.
Lord, these I'm telling you the things.
It's my instrument.
Yes, I'm telling you. And of course, we want to be respectful of time, so we're gonna get through this distinction number 7. So we're gonna talk about this.
Take your time. Take your time.
Look, amen, amen. Look, the fear of loss. Millionaires, they play to win. It says the middle class plays not to lose.
To lose.
That's a distinction.
Oh my goodness.
That's a distinction.
I just don't want to lose. I just don't want to lose. I don't want to lose all my money.
I don't want to lose. And so I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to try to tiptoe on the line. But guess what? You're not even in the game. You don't even realize it. You're not even you're on the sideline. You sit on the sideline watching the game, because if you're playing not to lose, you're not actually risking anything. You're not putting any of your chips on the table if you're playing not to lose. But if you play to win, then you're willing to go all in. You're willing to make that decision. When it says the decision means to cut off other options, when you make the decision to actually win in life, that means I know I'm going to fail. Cool. Because if I do fail, then that means I'm going to just learn and I'm going to get to my success faster. And I know that I can't please everybody. That's fine. And I know that, hey, I'm going to lose some things. I might go into bankruptcy. It says millionaires have gone into bankruptcy sometimes several times. Several times.
Yep.
The country is in bankruptcy. I mean,
come on now.
But you scared? But you scared.
Look at our what is he? Our president elect. Look at how many times he done went into bankruptcy.
Thank you. So you have to take the risk. You can't be scared of what you're going to lose. You got to think about what you're going to gain. Because what if I lose my income? You know, I'm no longer able to live the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to, that I'm comfortable with. But my goal is this other lifestyle. My goal is in that billionaire club.
Far beyond.
You touching home, Havilah. Lord.
So you may have to lose that $100,000 house for you to build yourself into the person you need to be to get into that $500,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay, because if you're not worried about what other people thinking about you, because who cares that you have to drive a jalopy car? Who cares if you got to ride the bus to get to your meetings? Who cares if that's what you have to do to be able to fulfill your dreams? Because at the end of the day, it's about you. This is your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually got confirmation of that from my boss a couple of weeks ago. They took me back off of work because of my injury. And she looked at me and said, it's okay. She said, that just gives you more time to build your dream and you being rich with you building your business outside of here. And then you could come and get me and show me what you're doing.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I don't know why she waiting. What she waiting on?
Right.
What she waiting on?
She said,
I don't even want to know what she said. I don't even want to know.
I got to save some money first.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, sometimes you push.
I said, that's all the more reason you need to be doing this. She done went to the website. She done clicked on it, done looked it up, done filled in her information. They said, nah, I'll wait.
But that's okay, because while she's waiting on the sideline, life is passing. Time is ticking away. And everybody is at a different part of their journey. Everybody's in a different part of their progress towards wherever they're going in life, whatever their destination is going to be. So all we can do is to do what we are supposed to do. That's it. That's it. And it says that the biggest gap in the world is between I should and I did.
Shoulda, woulda.
I should, I woulda, I coulda. You know, that's what they said. Or have the power of I did it.
Girl, when I read that, I was like, I can't tell you how many times I done heard somebody say, I should have bought me some Walmart stock. I should have bought some Sam's stock. I should have bought some of this stock. And I look at them like, oh.
Yeah.
Look, I hope that you can hear this or whatever, but I had a little treat for y'all to go into this next subheading on page 40, live like you were dying.
Oh, Lord.
Can y'all hear this?
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
I tell you, Tim McGraw said it best. He said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Manchu.
Oh, my God.
I loved a little deeper, I smoked a little sweeter. Oh, my God. If I was live like I was dying. If you on that perspective in life, and even Keith Cameron Smith on page 40, he talks about how he did a survey. He was asking these people who were in like 90 years and older, you know, what, if you had to live life over again, what would you do differently? What did he find out? What did he find out? What did those people want to do?
That they would have taken more risk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They would have taken more risk. And you know, Keith Cameron Smith isn't the only one who has these statistics, because this is real. Brownie Ware, who was a nurse, she's an Australian nurse who used to work with people in their last like 13 weeks before they died. They were like terminally ill patients. And she used to have these conversations with these people and ask them, you know, what is it, you know, about life, or like share, you know, some insights about life. And they came up with the top 5 regrets of the dying. And the number 1 is that I wish I had lived a life that was true to myself and not the life everybody else wanted me to live. That they would have done the things that they wanted to do in life. So do you want to be at that stage in your life, right there at the end, and die with regrets? Because you were too afraid to try that thing that was within you. You were too scared because somebody would have like looked at you funny. Because guess what? Either they looking at you funny anyway, or they don't even care.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not?
They looking at me funny now.
Girl, they gonna keep
join
doing
the
it.
funny looking club. Look, join the funny looking club.
They looking at me funny.
That's all right, y'all.
Exactly. They can look at all of it.
You know all the
Because of
crazy people, millionaires anyway.
Yeah. They looking at me real funny. This is Chriselle because of a decision that I made. Because a week ago, guys, I just felt like I could not breathe. And I felt like I couldn't breathe because I felt like I was stagnant in my life, and I felt like I was in a box, and I felt like people just was throwing dirt on top of me because I knew I was not living my purpose. My family, nobody understood. Okay, you got a good job, you got this, you got that, but y'all not understanding. This is not it for me. So that's why, and they looking at me real crazy because of a decision that I made this week. But I feel like I can breathe now.
That's powerful.
Awesome.
I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, what is it? I should be satisfied. I should be grateful. But no, I have a bigger purpose. That's why I'm not feeling like I'm satisfied, or I feel like I'm an extraordinary person. I'm just not ordinary. Yeah, this life might be good for you, but this not what my life is supposed to be. And that's family. They say, oh, she's crazy. Are you crazy? You gonna what? What?
Like Steve Jobs.
Wear your label proud.
Steve Jobs said it's the crazy ones who change the world. People thought that Albert Einstein was crazy. People thought that the Wright brothers fly in the air like a bird. Fly? What in a metal box? They thought those people were crazy. But guess what? We flying all over the country these days. We sure appreciate that the Wright brothers were crazy.
I do. I hate driving.
I know that's right.
Put me in a plane.
So the bottom.
Wear your label, baby. Wear your label proud, because you stuck with a bunch of people on this phone. So that's awesome.
That's right.
So take the risk. Reflect more on the things that you're grateful for in life, and do more things that will live on after you're gone. Leave a legacy. Do something that's going to affect generation after generation after generation, because you're capable of doing it. You have it in you already, right now. You just got to step into it. So I want to be able to say, I did it. Yeah, I made it, instead of being like, dog, I should have did that.
Should have bought some stock.
Right, like, dang on it. And as much as I eat at Waffle House, I need to buy some stock over there.
You do? Cheesy eggs.
I love them cheesy eggs, Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, do you all have any last thoughts, questions, closing comments, anything? Because we're going to stop right here on distinction number 7, and we're going to pick up on our part 2 discussion on December 27 on distinction 6 through number 1. So I want to open it up right now if there are any questions or any thoughts that you want to share.
I'm enjoying myself immensely. Let's keep it rolling. That's all I got.
Yay! Oh, I love it. I love it. You all do not understand how much joy this brings me to be able to spend this time with each and every one of you, to be able to have this discussion, to be able to, delve into these things, because it's not only when you read something, but when you then meditate on it and then you share it and then you apply it, that you get to keep it, that it can become a part of you and actually make a change or a difference in your life. And so having, this amazing group of like-minded people coming together and, on that similar path going towards success, there's nothing like that, because the energy that we create together is literally lifting us all up. It's lifting us. And so I am so grateful to each and every one of you for taking out the time, for being here, for being a part of this. And it's only going to get better. It's only going to grow. I'm going to share with you all, because I do want to give you enough time, even though in 2 weeks, so on December the 27th at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be right back here on Zoom discussing part 2 of this book. But also, I'm going to go ahead and reveal to you all what next month's book is, so that you getting in your Amazon orders or whatever, or want to start on it early, you have an opportunity to do that. So I'm going to preview. So January's book of the month is going to be The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I tell you, these 4 agreements will rock your world. Rock your world. And then coming up for February is going to be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Going to get you right with them 17 principles. And in March, we're going to be doing The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. So you want to go ahead and get your matter of fact, you can put this on if you are, into the holiday spirit. Go ahead and put it on your Christmas list. Get somebody to get them for you. Look, there you go. So awesome. I want to thank each and every one of you for your time, for your participation. Tell your friends, anybody who is, a like-minded entrepreneur who's looking for success, who's looking to get to the next level, get on this call, participate. Let's get it. Let's get it. So y'all have a fabulous evening. The recording will be available soon, and keep making it happen.
Hey, Havilah.
Yes.
Please tell them about your awesome children's book. I got it for my grandson, and everybody needs to get it for a child in your life.
Oh, my goodness.
Tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. So for all of you who are familiar with Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich and those 17 principles of success, who have truly created more millionaires than any other success philosophy in the world. It's actually in one of the top 10 best-selling books of all time. And those philosophies were brought to us by the John D. Rockefellers, the Thomas Edisons, the Henry Fords, all the things that made them super successful and who have now helped the Oprah Winfrey and the Tony Robbins of this time. Well, now for the first time in history, and this is a book that's released from the Napoleon Hill Foundation, is a book called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. And this book is actually based on those 17 principles of success, and it is for children. And this is the first time in history it's been done. I'm actually so honored to be one of the co-authors. I'm going to pull up right now on the screen. Oh, look, she's sharing hers. I'm going to pull up the book on the screen right now so you get a chance to see it. So this is actually the book. It goes through each of those 17 principles of success, that definiteness of purpose, going the extra mile, budgeting time and money, but they're all done in short, rhymed children's stories. So each principle is aligned with a story, like Meatball Monday or, the Town of Lost and Found, that kids are able to learn about those principles and apply them in their lives. And I'm telling you, when we look back and right now, we're doing a lot of personal development. We're reading books because we want to be able to grow. And even the things and the knowledge that we have gained through however many years we've been on this planet. What if you had known the things that you know now back when you were a kid? How much further would you be in life? And so now you have the opportunity to be able to provide your children with information that has literally changed the world. This is huge. Like, this is literally a history release, and I'm so honored. Like, 100% of the proceeds from the sales of the book goes back to the Napoleon Hill Foundation, which actually is a nonprofit organization. It's a learning institute to be able to continue to spread those principles around the world. And and Christy, because now you have the book or whatever, and they're able to share that with your grandson. Like, what has been your experience so far with reading those stories?
I think that everything, I like that it's written, it's almost in poetry form. And it prefaces, each chapter prefaces what it's going to be about. So my grandson has the ability to think about what he should be focusing on.
Yes.
So the lemonade stand, what should you, getting your people together, and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the terminology, but your mindset crew together. Those three people who, you know, who can get it done. Everybody has a different ability, but together you can all get it done.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that was kind of awesome and amazing. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm reading the book myself.
It's amazing adventures, guys. I wanted to put it. I was taking my amazing adventures of
The Amazing
Oliver
Adventures
Hill.
of Oliver Hill. And what a lot of people don't know, I'll share with you kind of a fun fact, is that Napoleon Hill, his real first name is actually Oliver. So it was kind of a play on, you know, Napoleon Hill himself. And, you know, and she's the story that she was sharing about the like, you learn teamwork. You learn about how to create a mastermind alliance through a story about like an ice cream contest. And especially for parents who are reading these along with their children, you're also putting those principles into yourself. There's a dual benefit because, you know, as a parent, you're also learning, you know, those 17 principles and able to apply them. So not only are you giving your kid the best foundation that they could have for success in life, but you're also getting it. So this is so, it's huge. It's huge. And even in 1937, Napoleon Hill himself asked for this to be done. He wanted those principles to be able to be brought to children of all ages around the world. And now for the first time in history, it's happening. It's been revealed. And I'm honored to have been a part of this. I'm actually a certified instructor for the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And these principles have helped shape my life and helped me to be able to achieve some of the levels of success that I have. So I know how important they are. And for us to be able to now put this into the hands of children, like, we're going to see a whole new generation. And with the changes that are happening in our own economy and government, it's a must right now to take your life into your own hands and to be able to shift that mindset and get the tools necessary for success. It is a must right now. So thank you so much for bringing that up. And I'm so glad that you're finding benefit, you know, with your grandson with this book. And like, we're getting so much like amazing feedback, you know, about it and the things that is happening with the book. And, you know, people are going on Amazon and writing reviews and like, my daughters want me to read story after story after story. And, you know, so it's so exciting what's happening. It's really exciting. So thank you. Thank you very much.
How many stories are in the book, like approximately?
Absolutely. So there's 17 stories. So it aligns with the 17 principles of success. So every principle has a story, a short story, rhymed children's story that's associated with it. Yes.
Oh, I love it. Because my son, they have to read like 6 books a month, the school. So that would be perfect, you know?
Absolutely.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I have to make my grandson not read the whole book. I have to make him, he can only read 2 chapters a day, period. Because I want him to grasp it.
I'd like to make a comment on the book, if I can get in here somewhere.
Yes, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, to my team players out there, all the information I've heard about the book, I mean, it's even bigger than that. But here's the thought. If we had that book when we were children, the possibilities of us being on calls like this, I think we will be leading these calls and leading them in a huge way. And I'm also going to say this. This should be a priority for you to get this book for your child. I mean, like as soon as you can get it, you want to get it. You're gonna put your children in a position where they're gonna be at the top of the class. These kids are going to be learning principles that adults have not even mastered, and they will, according to how much you talk to them about it or teach it to them, they're going to be able to be functional on an adult level, but still a child, mastering principles that adults have not even mastered. I mean, some of us on this call have not even mastered it. So, including myself, on a master level. But children are like, they're like, what do you call those sponges, right? And what you put into them, it stays with them. It becomes a part of them. And like I was sharing with Havilah, that particular book will become a household name. And you're going to be having children actually being able to point out principles when they're actually being played out. They're going to recognize the principle in whatever the scenario that is being played out is going on. They're going to be able to say, oh, so you're exercising going the extra mile. Or so you're exercising it, taking the initiative. They're going to spot that principle in the action and the behavior of family members and others. And that is huge, to take a little child's mind and have them to be able to take those principles and know what they are, know how to use them, and also realize that there's power and strength, and give them the confidence that they can go in life from a little child. They're going to start thinking about building businesses from a young age.
Yes.
They really are. So again, I said, what if I had that book? What if my parents had that book, and that book was really inculcated into me? I'm telling you, our kids going to have such a head start. And I tell, like I shared with Havilah, these are my opinions and viewpoint, of course, but I think I'm on it. That book is going to be on the same playing field and level field of Napoleon Hill's book itself, but on a child level. It would have that kind of notoriety. I'm an avid reader. I read a lot to my kids, and that particular book, I have not seen nothing to match it. I've not, I don't know. In fact, at this point, there really isn't. And that's why you got they got a whole lot of stuff that's surrounding this book that's going on as far as people promoting this book on these different organizations that you probably don't know about. But it's a huge book. You don't have it, go get it. And as soon as you can, sit your child down or put them on a schedule where you're going to, they don't know that you're teaching them the principles, but you're going to be very serious about it because you know exactly what you're doing. The child's just going to be sitting there enjoying everything and having a grand time because the characters are awesome. It's stuff that children obviously can relate to, and I thought I was very impressed with how Havilah was able to take those instructors, teachers, or whatever, and use them to be able to relate the stories to the child in a way that a child can get it, not even know he's learning powerful principles. And also, it seemed there was some synergy going on in her mind in terms of being able to know how a child feels, what a child wants, how a child thinks. And so she was able to use those instructors to satisfy that through these wonderful, wonderful, enjoyable stories. I mean, even adults, they enjoy the book. They themselves see the power and the reading to the children, and they're getting fed too. That's awesome when you can read a child's book and at the same time learn these powerful principles yourself as an adult. And so I'm telling you guys, get the book as soon as you can. Give that child that head start, give him the jump on life, and I don't think you'll regret it. And I'm sure the child won't either. So I got mine and many more to get.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And if you all are affiliated with, like, schools or any kind of learning institutions, you mentor, at different programs, whether you do Big Brothers, Big Sisters, or, anything like that, it's a book you want to be able to bring into that organization. Because if you want to give a child the very best foundation for success, there's nothing better than this. There's literally nothing better than this. And with myself and, the co-author of the book, Miss Diane Lampy, and working very closely with the foundation to make sure that they are so in synergy, in alignment with those Napoleon Hill principles and the original From Think and Grow Rich and the Law of Success, and now available for kids, this is literally going to change the next generation. Literally.
And don't pass up on your opportunity to have a part in getting that book out there. If it's no more than when you go, actually order the book with Amazon, do your, do that, what do you call it? Would you do a review or whatever?
Review. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Please.
Play your role, because this book will become the book of all books for children, for parents to have to be able to teach kids stuff that we all so desperately want to teach our children. Just how do you teach a child these things? Well, we got the book now. And so do your part and play your role, because you get a chance to play a role in promoting this book. And one day you'd be like, you know what? I got mine a long time ago. I got one all in plastic. And my first one, I got it all in plastic, never to ever be touched. In terms of
like my babies already know those principles. Mm-hmm. My baby already has his business.
That's right. I'm telling you. So this is history. History is in the making by means of wonderful books. The generation of children is going to be awesome. When it works right in with what we already know. We say stuff like our grandkids, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, when they become adults, it's like we always wonder, what will the world be like? Well, guess what? It's through this book, it's even bigger and greater than I could ever have thought. If it's going to be based on these principles, these children are going to use these principles to build a new world to come. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you all so much again for your time. And you want to go out, add that to your Amazon list, add that to your, your Christmas list or whatever list you have. And you want to be able to get a copy of that. So you can go to Amazon. It's called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. And it's also right there in the chat. There's a link directly to it. And if you have any questions, then don't hesitate to reach out. And you can always even email me at ask@havilahmalone.com. So that's ask@HAVILAHMALONE.com. Or for those of you who have my phone number, just call me, or Facebook me. I'm always available, for those who are really looking to get to that next level. So
don't forget the reviews.
Yes, and then put your reviews up on Amazon. Tell us what you think. Absolutely. Because again, as we all use our music, matter of fact, there's a story in there called The Music in Me. But as we all play our note, in this symphony of life, then we all get to benefit, and we all get to reach that level of happiness and success that we characterize with freedom. And that's what we all want anyway. So do you. So have a wonderful evening. This has been an amazing Billionaire Book Club discussion, and I look forward to seeing you all for part 2 of the top 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class on December the 27th, right here at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. Y'all have a great night.
Night.
Thank you.
Night.
Great night.